NASCAR may have nixed the Throwback weekend label, but many NASCAR teams are still participating, keeping the tradition alive. I've created a tier list. Although more this is just a separation of different categories. There aren't any misses in the bunch, but there are a few that you'll see at the very top of this list that maybe I like the most. But don't think of this as like a best to worst tier list. This is just my way of organizing these paint schemes based on various attributes, I suppose. Let's jump right in. It's a triple header weekend. The Truck Series races tonight on FS1. Fittingly, there are many tributes to the late great Greg Biffle. The Biff, well represented by his former team, Roush Fenway Keselowski Racing. All three of their cars feature that iconic Biffle era number font. And the liveries themselves, while not exact one-to-one replications, they clearly pay homage to some of the Biff's most iconic looks. I think the 17 and the 60 are my favorite looks. I think the 60, that's an obvious throwback to the 3M days that began during the early COT era, and apparently the blue Busher scheme is paying homage to 2011, roughly. They referenced Greg Biffle's pole award at Texas Motor Speedway that year. Biffle won twice at Texas in the NASCAR Cup Series. I was there for one of those wins, 2012, in a similar blue-ish paint scheme, if I recall. He also won at Texas in a KBM truck after his Cup Series career was over. So yeah, I love these. These are great. It's awesome to see Roush continuing to pay tribute to one of their all-time great drivers. RFK Racing, not the only team paying tribute to the Biff. On Saturday in the O'Reilly Series, you'll see those recognizable 3M colors once again on the Sam Hunt Racing number 26, driven by Dean Thompson. Another scheme circa 2011. Honestly, this scheme more true to the original than the 3 RFK cars. Really cool stuff here. But taking the cake, in my opinion, I'm not even going to put this next one in the Biffle category. I'm actually going to put this one up here at the top. Once again, Alpha Prime Racing, full send, full commit to this year's throwback. Brennan Poole will be driving a near-perfect recreation of Greg Biffle's iconic National Guard Stars and Stripes paint scheme that he raced in the mid-2000s. He nearly won a Cup Series championship back in 2005 with this scheme as the main primary. This scheme specifically is a callback to Biffle's 2006 Southern 500 victory at Darlington. 20-year anniversary of that crown jewel win, so this scheme fitting in a number of different ways. Once again, credit to Brennan Poole, Ryan Pistana, Alpha Prime Racing, the whole creative team, all their sponsors for playing along. This is an unbelievable paint scheme, a great tribute as well. Job well done, folks. Full send. I love it. Let's stay focused on the Cup Series for a moment. Front Row Motorsports successfully subverted my expectations with their 2 throwback schemes this weekend, beginning with Todd Gillan throwing it back to Bill Elliott. Awesome Bill. Bill Elliott callbacks are always great. The iconic Coors scheme. This one is fitting. He won the 1985 Southern 500 at Darlington in a similar paint scheme. I believe that's where he collected the Winston $1 million check and earned the $1 million Bill nickname as well. So fitting tribute at Darlington. I'm just surprised to see Todd Gillan behind the wheel. And Zane Smith is throwing it back to an Elliott Sadler scheme that time nearly forgot, in my opinion. Something about this car just screams year 2000. I say lost to time because a lot of folks remember this paint scheme for sure, but when I think Elliott Sadler, I think about his time in the Cup Series. I think about his M&M's paint schemes. I think of his time in the 19. I think of his time at the end of his career in the O'Reilly Series and the One Main Financial JRM Chevy. Frankly, this is one I kind of forgot about. But hey, that's what Throwback or Alumni Weekend, whatever they're calling it, that's what Darlington is supposed to be about, reminding us of NASCAR's colorful past, paying tribute to the legends, remembering icons This one is really cool. Again, kind of surprising. I did not see this one coming, but job well done, front row. This looks great. Full send as per usual from Legacy Motor Club. Hey, when you drive the iconic Petty 43, there's no shortage of memorable paint schemes to play with. The Petty Blue looks phenomenal as per usual. Now, per their press release, this is actually a Wally Dallenbach paint scheme from 1994. I know, I get it. I see the Petty Blue, the 43. I just assume this is one of King Richard's forgotten hits. But no, this is from the mid-90s, a couple years after Petty had officially retired. Wally Dallenbach, a Wally Dallenbach throwback in the big 2026. How about that? I guess I could have put this in the second category as well, because they kind of threw us for a curveball. I got to give Legacy Motor Club some credit for that. And our final Cup Series scheme, I mean, it doesn't get any more full send than this. The Chili's Margarita Machine, made to look like Dale Earnhardt's 1981 Wrangler colors. They recreated the iconic Dale Earnhardt cowboy western look with Carson Hocevar. In case you missed my video yesterday, I actually talked to Carson Hocevar extensively about this throwback, this crossover, his work with Chili's, the promotional material. And he was really honest in that interview, I thought, about how as much as he respects Dale Earnhardt, he doesn't love the constant comparisons. I definitely got the impression this was very much a Chili's idea. Chili's wanted to push this narrative. Hocevar is like, hey, y'all are paying the bills, I guess I'll play along. It was an interesting interview, but really cool paint scheme for sure. Chili's, Carson Hocevar, they are big, they are bold, they do not do things halfway. Great looking car. Can't wait to see the real thing on the track this weekend. Moving to the O'Reilly Auto Parts series, this next one shocked me. Garrett Smithley is throwing it back to himself. And I know what you're probably thinking. Garrett Smithley? Who does he think he is? Does he have an iconic paint scheme? Well, the answer is yes, because as a matter of fact, Garrett Smithley, for those who don't remember, was a member of the JD Motorsports Big Red Flex Seal Brigade, and they have recreated that look here on his SS Greenlight Chevy. It doesn't say Flex Seal on the front, but immediately my mind went to what's his name, to Phil Swift with the sawing a boat in half or whatever shenanigans he was up to. So yeah, if you watch the O'Reilly series 10 years ago when JD Motorsports would bring 3 or 4 of these to the track every single weekend, this look, these colors, instantly recognizable. Didn't see this coming though, I gotta say. Now let's take a look at the Craftsman Truck Series. They didn't let us down this year. Not too many Cup teams, O'Reilly teams chose to play along this year, but the trucks, especially Ram, there's a reason I have a whole category dedicated to Ram. We'll start with AJ Allmendinger, who is subbing for Daniel Dye this week in the number 10. This is a simple throwback to the old Mopar color scheme of the 90s. Honestly, this could pass for a modern, retro, vintage-inspired scheme today if they just wanted to commit to this for select events. Looks nice. We'll put it in the Ram category. I know it's at the bottom of the screen. This isn't my favorite throwback. That doesn't mean this one's bad, though. Again, it does look good. The Ram guys get their own category. Look at Brendan Queen's car. I love the red and yellow. This color combo looks sweet. An open wheel racing crossover here. Good stuff. And then Mini Tyrell with the simple but classic red Dodge livery on his Ram truck. Seeing Dodge on a NASCAR race car in 2026 is pretty surreal. Super cool stuff. And then finally, Corey LaJoie is driving the Ram 25. I'm going to put this one, though, in the touching tribute category. That space is looking a little too vacant for my liking. This one's kind of cool. Corey LaJoie throwing it back to Big Rand, his father, Randy LaJoie. Randy once drove a Dodge Ram truck himself, and so it's pretty cool to see Corey get to throw it back to his dad. And the paint scheme looks great as well, so I'll put that one in the touching tribute tier. I did not expect TRICON Garage to go so damn hard this year with their throwbacks. Caden Honeycutt rocking a Johnny Benson 2008 Truck Series Championship season scheme. This could pass for a modern day truck. This looks awesome. The dark flames on the door look evil in all the right ways. They even got the little headlight decal detail correct. I mean, what do you want me to say? This looks phenomenal. The only thing maybe slightly holding it back is that the Safe Flight logo doesn't look anything like the original logo from the 2008 Bill Davis Racing rendition. But other than that, this looks fire. I mean, that's super lame. Obviously, there's fire, but I don't know what else to say. This looks cool. But stealing the spotlight, his teammate Gio Ruggiero in the 17, throwing it back to this guy, to Darrell Waltrip. 1995, the inaugural Craftsman Truck Series season, back when it was called the Super Truck Series, and even they've got that Super Truck decal on the door. If that's allowed to stay, if they race with that decal, extra bonus points for this one. They replaced the iconic Western Auto DW colors with First Auto, the 17th, the color. This looks so great. So great. I mean, we've seen this scheme on Cup cars, getting to see it on a truck once again. Really cool stuff. Oh no, I just saw they had to take the chrome decal off. Oh, it just doesn't hit the same. Oh man, I'm gonna leave it in the top tier because their intentions were pure. Kind of a random one, another one I did not see coming. Frankie Muniz throwing it back to Dave Blaney. We've seen some Dave Blaney throwbacks. I mean, Ryan Blaney's thrown it back to Dave's dirt racing days, but I don't think we've ever seen this scheme thrown back to. So points for thinking outside the box, Rayum brothers. Pretty cool deal here. And then finally, save some of the best for last. Again, that touching tribute section is a bit barren. The NASCAR industry lost a few iconic drivers, heroes this offseason, one of them being Michael Annett. Sticking with Josh Rayum for a moment here, he's throwing it back to Michael Annett's 2019 Daytona O'Reilly Series season opening victory. I know it's a truck, throwing it back to an Xfinity car, but still, the colors, the decals look fantastic, and it's great that Michael Annett is getting some recognition as well. Matt DiBenedetto, a late add to the entry list for Joey Gase Motorsports, is also throwing it back to Michael Annett, his Cup Series tenure in the number 7 for Tommy Baldwin Racing. Nice to see those colors return. A couple of really great gestures from a couple of teams in the O'Reilly and Craftsman Truck Series. Junior Motorsports not running any throwback paint schemes this weekend. I was a little disappointed to not see any Michael Annett references, though I don't think Pilot, Annett's longtime sponsor, is on any of the cars this weekend. They don't have a primary, so perhaps that made things kind of difficult to work around. But still, some touching tributes to wrap up today's show. It may not be throwback weekend anymore. I mean, how many paint schemes are on this list? Like 16, 17, 18? It's a shame that more teams and sponsors aren't embracing that tradition, but what do they say? Absence makes the heart grow fonder or something like that, or distance? You gotta lose something to realize how badly you miss it, I guess. I've always been a big fan of the fully committed throwback weekend. I'm glad that at least some teams, some sponsors are still going all out, full send, keeping the tradition alive, but hopefully in due time we can see, even if it's not, full on throwback weekend, everyone's got throwback paint schemes. What if it's just like a throwback or retro vibe? I've seen some suggest like NASCAR Classics weekend, where you keep your modern day colors and sponsors and such, but you rework some of the design to maybe match the 70s, kind of like what Junior Motorsports did for their Daytona 500 scheme. That's a modern paint scheme, brand new, wholly original, but it's reminiscent of a time decades past. Maybe that's the design direction we can take Throwback Weekend in the future. We'll see. Let me know what your favorite throwback scheme is this weekend. Leave a comment down below. Enjoy the weekend, folks. Trucks tonight, O'Reilly tomorrow, Cup Series on Sunday. Cup drivers keep warning us of potential chaos with less downforce, more horsepower. Could be one of the most unpredictable Darlington races in quite some time. Thanks for watching, folks. I'll catch you again real soon. Have a great rest of your week.